Lucky to me, they agreed to perform a classic. Has never been performed, especially with these two guys together. And I want you to give a round of applause to Mr. LaRue and Bob Esty to play.
He actually got in touch with me on Facebook, and he left me a copy of his CD, and we live down the street from each other. And on Facebook he said what a big fan he was and blah, blah, blah. And then he left me a CD, and then he ran off to, he does a lot of performing in Europe, and so he ran off to Europe, and then he was coming back, and the day he came back from Europe, right across the street is the CBS pharmacy, and I was in there getting some Diet Pepsi, and he was in there getting some Anderson or something, because he had aches and pains from flying over here. So, and I said, Vladimir? And he said, yes. So we've been great friends ever since. I'll tell you, this guy is just such a wonderful, wonderful. It's like Bob and I were sitting there saying, how are we going to follow up this band? Am I right or wrong? They're fabulous. Fabulous. So then, see, Vladimir always makes the mistake of asking me to do something, and he asked me twice, and the answer is yes, and then you're sorry. So I had hooked up Vladimir with Bob. He adores Bob's work. Bob is maestro here, brilliant. So I recorded out here. I lived out here a few years and recorded with Catalina Records, and Bob did all my fabulous hits for me. So I adore the man. And then so I hooked him up with Bob, and then Bob introduced him to some friends around him, and I'll let Vladimir tell that story later. And then Vladimir called me up and he said, well, I can't thank you enough. And he said, can I offer you a performance thing? And I said, well, I'll ask Bob, because I had been in touch with Bob. And I didn't think Bob would say yes. And I said, Bob, do you want to do it? He said, yes, immediately. I said, well, here we go. I'm going to fly out to Los Angeles, the first time in 25 years, to do one song for Vladimir and my darling Bob Esty. So here we go. And this is just a delight. It really is a delight. I don't want to go on and on, but it's so wonderful to be back here in Los Angeles. I lived here for about 3.5 years when I was recording for Casablanca. And it's been like about 25 years since I've been back here, because I live in Manhattan. I needed an excuse. So, and I've been here for a couple of days, and it's just wonderful. I just love this place. I have any excuse now to get back here again and do this again and again. It'd be wonderful. Okay, so like Vladimir, Vladimir wasn't even live when I did Cathedrals. We're laying a child here. I'm serious. And he starts sneaking into discos when you were 15 or 16, right? And he got his little disco shirt there from his little retro disco Nick polyester shirt, and he starts and he cathedrals. And he kept hearing cathedrals. The first time he heard it was a disco. It was a Turkish DJ or something. But it was years after the fact, because disco. My records seem to have survived this whole thing. And of course, then he loved the stuff I did with Bob. So, in deference to Vladimir and his request for me to perform one song, all the way out here from one song. But that's cool, I've enjoyed it. I just really enjoyed it. I enjoyed staying here with Bob Esty. So, you want to count off and we'll do it? Oh, okay.
1, 2, 3, and...
The faces after faces still inside my head. The words of love, the hollow sound of away from this and onto that. And love will never mix the dust. So much for all the time and trust. From love to lust, I'm back to love. Can't heaven tell me where they are now? They can fit the peoples. Where are they now? They're in the dance halls, they're in the diners, they're in the streets. Where are they now? They're at the movies, they're in the bar rooms. Where are they now? They're in the dance halls, they're in the diners, they're in the streets. Where are they now? They're at the movies, they're in the bar rooms. I'll make them feel the peoples. I'll say it to the peoples. Where are they now? They're in the dance halls, they're in the bar rooms, they're in the streets. Where are they now? They're at the movies, they're in the bar rooms. Where are they now? They're in the dance halls, they're in the diners, they're in the streets. Where are they now? They're at the movies, they're in the bar rooms. Oh, they can fill the peoples. Yes, they can fill the peoples, baby. Yes, they can fill the peoples, baby. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I've really enjoyed this. Vladimir, Aaron, these guys are great, aren't they? Will, and we got Andrew. So I want to thank everybody. Thank Bob Esty. Come out here, Bob.
Yay!
And this is the man. This is the maestro, the really maestro. I don't know what I would have done without him out here at Casablanca. He did such a magnificent work for me. Thank you so much, Bob. Thank you so much for showing up.